divided by 5. Why I'm doing this 5 is I want after 5 rotate we have rotated for 5 times, it must go down or it must go up if it is down. Okay, this dot, not this dot speed cross this dot there, which is the short form of direction. If this dot take is greater than equal to 45 or this dot take is less than equal to 0, this is the range. It can go greater than, it can be greater than 45 or it can be less than equal to 0. So at that point we have change the direction. So it is to change the direction we have to just multiply it by 1. This cross, it is multiplied equal to 1 minus 1. Now if you want to clear this thing, then just draw this whole thing in a function or just have this arrow function thing. First you have to clear the rectangle. If you are animating this thing, then at each frame this whole thing won't be redrawn. So above it, the context will draw above it. So we have to clear the rectangle completely, clear the canvas completely. So to clear the canvas, we have to use a function called clear rect, which will clear the rectangle. In this case, we need the whole canvas, so we need the whole rectangle canvas rectangle, or the rectangle from the cone 0, 0 to width, height, and the width is canvas of width, height is canvas of height, and text dot. Now we have to draw the bar. We have to declare the rectangle, create the value, the objects of value before this is a big rectangle on the bar before this draw method. So we'll have rectangle, new rectangle, fixed. We will have a fixed bar. First, left of the movable bar, new bar is fixed must be false here, and y will be 0. First parameter is the y coordinate, and second parameter is fixed, so it will be false here. Fixed bar, the y coordinate will be 20, since I want the height to be equal to 20, and the width and the is fixed is 2. And the draw function, let's draw the triangle. Let's draw this thing up also. So this thing context. I'll tell you what is save and these two things. What these two lines that I've written, I'll explain you after I've coded this draw method. If this is fixed, then we are only going to rotate. It is mostly for rotation and all. But first we have to translate also. We have to translate to the last to the bottom right left bottom portion of the rectangle. So we have to translate at this point. So here in this point we have to translate this. So what this thing is doing is, okay, 0 means the left, and bottom will be the height of this rectangle, that is 20, and text dot fill width. You have to specify the x coordinate, y coordinate, width and height for fill width. the x component will be 0, the y component will be minus 20 since we have already translated the converts to 20 thing, 20 in y direction. Width will be 200, height will be 20, and here we have to say if this is fixed. If not of this is, if it is not fixed, then we have to rotate this. Rotate, and it must be in radians. So we have to multiply the whatever amount of degree we have with math.pi by 180. I assume that you know the formula to convert degree to radians and radians to degree. So if it is if we have a degree here, so the formula will be to convert to radians will be degree into math.pi by 180. If you have with a radians and we have to want it in degree, then it will be radian into 180 by math.pi. Math.pi is value is 3.14. It's equal to the value of pi. So we have this math class and we need the pi variable from that. So similarly, that it will be this dot date, and this will be y plus 20, right? We are already specifying the phone list. If you don't specify y, then both the times will be the same y in the same place. So I think we mostly done here. This will be this dot update. We have to update. We also update this thing. That will be updated only if this is not fixed. If not, of this is fixed. I think it will work. We haven't defined the stripe class so far. We'll do it later. Now let's draw the big rectangle right here. Yeah, thing is working so far. Now yes, we are drawing this all the things in draw function. We are calling it a draw function. We will draw. Okay, the x coordinate is not right here. We have to have this as x. Yeah, this will be x. Yeah, so this is the movable bar. You can see so far so good, as it must be above the fixed bar and fixed bar will be above the bigger rectangle. Okay, well, fixed bar is not there. Okay, this will be this dot y, not only y, with this dot y. Yeah, we have screwed up something. So this will start from y, and this will start from y plus 20. Yeah, we can see this is drawn somehow. This will be fixed. We'll see this later. If let's call it for 5 times. Okay, it is not going in the. Okay, if it needs to go, if the problem is the direction will be always in a circular it's in the clockwise direction, and it's if you have a circle here, suppose we have a suppose we have a, let's take option a circle. So the rotation will start from, if it is in this way, so if it is the rotation is 0, then it will start in this point. The Yeah, it will start in this point and it will go in this direction, in clockwise direction. So in our case, it is going in clockwise direction, but we need it in anti-clockwise direction. So this thing will be minus. Yeah. So after drawing, like column is draw for 7 times, then we are having this effect. Uh, let me start from the first thing. So you can see the angle is much more less. I'll just draw once only. There is some issue, small minor issue. The speed is not consistent enough. Max step by 5. Okay, let's think. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I want this thing to animate continuously. So we need something to animate it continuously. So there are two things we can use here. One is set interval method. Draw 100. The first thing it takes is a triangle. Is a 1000 or something. Okay, there is still an issue. I will tell you what is the issue. So this thing will be less than equal to minus 45 as it is decreasing. It is going in anti-clockwise direction, and this thing will be greater than equal to 0. So let's save it. New area. I want it to be little bit. Okay, what I want to do is I want it to go it down. So to do that, you have to init some dimension. You have to init some object or something. You have to also change the dimension of this objects and the x and y coordinate when we are changing this, when resizing the window. Change dimensions of object. Y is the same, convert of height by 2 minus 100. Then we'll call all this thing. We'll like, I think we don't use big rectangle thing. We need this thing only. And we want that to all to start the rotation must start from the very first position. Okay, we are not calling this one window on resize. We have to call this method which we have created here when you are resizing the window, and that we can do with the help of resize. So okay, you can see. I think I should decrease the rotation. Like I should decrease the maximum degree till which it goes. I'll do it by. There is an issue. There is an issue with my code. Small issue that I did, and now I'm realizing. What the issue is, this must not be hard coded. This must be equal to max take. Yeah, you can see the values are pretty much consistent here. So now what we need is we have to draw this sprite. Sorry, not sprite, it's stripe. So this thing must have an x coordinate constructor. It will take xy. There will be two xy coordinates, not two. There will be four x coordinates, four y coordinates. So it will be x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3. So this stripe is like a skewed quadrilateral, like skewed polygon of side of four sides. So it will have four vertices, and we have to have hold this variable. So that this dot this dot x1, this dot x2 is just x3, like that. You have to store the variable. Okay, pretty boring job now. x3, this dot x4 equal to x4, this dot y1, and this dot y2 equal to y2, 2 equal to y3. It will be filled with white color. Fill red. Not fill red. We have to use path. You have to draw this as a path. To begin a path, you have to use the begin path method. Then you have to move to a certain point. One y1. Then you have to draw a line from that position. Okay. You have to draw a line from x1 y1 to x2 y2. Similarly, to draw a line from x2 y2 to x3 y3, and from x3 y3 to x4 y4, you have to draw another line. Yeah, it is pretty your high school mathematics. Stock context. Why I'm using this CTX again? Okay, so basically previously when I used to do code some Canvas stuff in Canvas, I used to retrieve the context and store it in context CTX variable. Now I'm a bit matured and I'm using context variable. So this thing, I always just do this kind of error. Now context.fill. Context.fill means it will fill the part which is currently used. Now let's draw our first sprite. So there will be also some A stripes, 4 stripes on the movable bar, 4 stripes on the fixed bar, and the fixed bar uh, and 4 stripes on fixed bar and 4 stripes on the movable bar, and mostly the x and y coordinates of the x coordinate will be same for fixed bar and movable bar. The x coordinates of all the stripes will be same to the stripes in to the corresponding stripes of fixed bar. So we can store the stripes in an array. We can call it, you want first one the first thing you want is fixed stripes. Second thing we need is movable stripes. And what I found is the stripes will be present in the class bar. So currently the compiler cannot know if we code the stripes here, it won't know the all the like it won't be able to like it will ask you what is stripe because it is declared the stripe is declared after bar. So we have to declare the stripe after bar or stripe after we have to declare this bar after sprite. That's in the wrong thing. This stripes must be present in bar, so we don't need to create anything outside this bar class. Okay, let's save it and yeah, this dot stripes equal to an array. Now let's initialize the stripes. So we need the stripes to be like at a gap of say what like the x is all the width of the bar is already 200 and we need it to be around something called we need it to be equally spaced and it must continue till the end. So it will be like 200 for like the gap must between the stripes will be 50, but there is one catch here. It must not like end like the beginning of the stripe and the end of stripe is also will there will be some distance like because it will be skewed, right? The stripe will be skewed. So we also need to consider x. We have to consider x1 and we have to consider x4 for each stripe. Okay. For so basically what I'm trying to say is x4 the stripe has 4 coordinates, 4 x coordinates, 4 y coordinates. X1, x2, x3, x4 are the x coordinates, y1, y2, y3, y4 are the y coordinates. So to get the width of the stripe, the formula will be x4 minus x1. So x4 minus x1, I want it to be around of 40 units. Okay. Now, so the first one will start at 0, first stripe will start at 0, and the last stripe will end at the width of the bar. So it will end at 200. So basically what we need is if we try to calculate this stuff, all this stuff of it, we'll reach, we'll get a certain formula. The width of the stripe into 4 or the number of stripes we want plus the gap you want, what you want. The gap will be like a width by 2, like a width of the stripe by 2, and the width of the gap will be there will be only n minus 1 gap, that will be 3 gaps. So let's say we need the stripes must be 4, the number of stripes we need is 4. So the gap formula will be here, gap will be equal to something called the width of the bar, that is 200 divided by n into width of each stripe that I'm calling WS. Well, I'm not initially WS, I'm just giving a name WS, and it will be 40 plus n minus 1 into the width by 2 as 20. This is your gap. and takes the first, yeah, the first right position will be at 0, and the with the y coordinates of all the stuff will be same. The y1 will be same as y, will be same as y2, will be same as y3 will be like the height of the bar, that is 20, and y4 will be the height of the bar plus 20. So what we need here is y will be 0, but okay. Another thing to remember is we have to draw it here. After this fill ref, we have to draw. So we don't need it. We need it to be relative in relative position. Just let's initialize the stripes. It will go from 0 to n. A lot of things you have to understand. I can I cannot like try to explain everything. You have to push the new stripe in the stripes array. And the first coordinate will be your x1, that is x, comma, second coordinate will be the second coordinate, to go all this thing. It is a bit messy also, like you won't be much comfortable with this editor as compared to the concept of editors you have in your installed in your computer. It is in format x1 y1 x2 y2, so like that. So it will be x comma y comma x plus width by 2 equals 20 comma y plus comma y, then x plus 20, yeah, it will be around there, comma y plus 20 comma x plus 40 comma y plus 20, and the x must also increase by an unit gap. uh, Gap used to be your width, width by 2. Okay, x must increase and do be off. I think we don't need this gap for now. Okay, this is gap only, the gap. I'm a bit confused here. Look. Let me save this thing. I think it will work now, but there is some issues, small minor issues are there. Okay, this will be distro stripes. Yeah, it is working for now, but we have to draw the stripes also. You have to also draw the stripes here. I'm a bit confused with the positioning and all, but okay, this is a small mistake I've done. It will be distro stripes. Okay, okay, what is the mistake that I've done? Okay, so they have some issues like, okay, okay, we have missed this thing in stripe totally. So that is the only thing, like in Java you can directly use without this, but here you have to use this. this dot y2, this dot xp. Now it is good, but I don't think I need this thing. What have I done wrong? So the major thing that I've done wrong is this thing is starting from minus 20. So the y will be here will be 20 at least. Okay, so this thing is started from minus 20. Remember, I did convert and context dot translate minus 20, which I had to explain you properly after I've done this all this stuff. So yeah, small mistake is here. We have to start from 20. It's good, but the thing is, I don't need this. What will be this thing? What will be the value of this stuff? X. Really start from 30, I guess.